Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for coming. Today we will talk about rapid publication opportunities and a platform which makes possible these rapid publications. First of all, I would like to talk a little bit about what is the main problem in the universities. Universities are compete, and most of the institutions would like to reach a really high impact. And they try to motivate the researchers and the teachers to publish in the most high-ranking journals in the world. The main problem is the time, because the best journals, the most high-impact journals, offer rapid publications. But the others are a little bit slower. So if you don't have a research which lead the current topics and in the top hat, it can be a little bit slower. So which kind of opportunities we have? We have different platforms which allows now accelerated publication process, and today I would like to share a good example for this. And we establish a course in the university for the teachers and for the students who would like to publish in using this platform. For the students it's really important because if you would like to continue your studies in the master or in the PhD, it requires minimum 1 or 2 indexed articles. What does the indexed article mean? The indexed articles which index in the greatest databases, like the Scopus or the Web of Science or the PubMed. And for the researchers, it's also important because in this case they can change their position in the university or in the research institute, and according to these numbers, to the impact factor, they can apply for grants. For example, from the Senate here or in other international programs require a standard. So, first of all, let me to explain a little bit what the impact factor means exactly. There's got several journals which talking about impact factors, but the most valid impact factor, which globally accepted, is the Thomson-Reuters impact factor. How they count it? They count the number of the citations and divide it to the number of the publications. What does it mean? A journal became more famous, more popular, if the researcher start to cite their articles. So a journal can reach a higher impact factor if a lot of researcher, if a lot of author cite their articles. So the journal has the impact factor, not the article, don't forget. But for sure these articles are belong to these journals. So the main purpose of the journals increase the impact factor, but this impact factor must be from external sources, because the self-citations can decrease this number. The researcher also has a number which can be used for qualifying their work, and it's called the age index. The age index counted the same like the impact factor, but excluding the self-citations. So a researcher or a journal can become more popular if a lot of people cite in their article. So most of the authors try to publish in really high impact factor journals, but it's not that easy. Do you know which journal has the highest impact factor in the world?
New Yorker.
No? How much is the impact factor for the New Yorker?
No sé, en la ciudad.
Just the scientific magazines has an impact factor which counted. The New England of Medicine has 72 impact factor currently. The Nature, the Science has around 42 impact factors. So these journals offer rapid publications. They make first editorial decisions in 2 weeks. To be honest, even for the lead researchers in the world who has a really hot topic, it's really difficult to publish in these journals. So obviously, in the reality, the teachers, the researchers try to choose other options. But if you going to the lower, it's not too low, like 20 impact factor, 30 impact factor journals, the review process became really long. You have to wait sometimes for the first editorial response 6 months or 8 months, and after the publishing requires sometimes 1 year. And it's a really big problem for the rapidly increasing area, for example, the medicine. Why? Because you discover something and your results will be published like 1 year later, you know. So in the competition, in the scientific competition, it's really hard to publish quickly. And now we would like to provide an alternative solution which can be good for you, for the students also, and also for the researchers. These are the 3 databases which counted as good indexers in the world. They are international standards: the Web of Science, the Scopus, and the PubMed. The PubMed itself for medicine, for these kind of studies, but the Web of Science and the Scopus offer other life science topics, as agriculture, as well environmental sciences, which is important for you. As you know, in the university, the Scopus indexing is really important nowadays. But we have to mention that the journals which index in the Web of Science has impact factor. Okay, the Scopus index, only the Scopus index journals don't have impact factor. They have another metrics, the Scopus citation index, other metrics which you can count with. But when we are talking about the impact factor, is also only the Web of Science index journals. The PubMed becoming interesting for the UPS as well, as Padre Javier new scope is focusing on also the biomedical studies. And we are really good in this. To be honest, in Cuenca and in Quito we have bioengineering carriers, and we have really nice results. For example, in the last semester, here in Quito, the 3 researchers discovered 4 new species in one of the national parks here in the Fungis. And it's really important to be indexed in the PubMed, because this is a good indicator for a university. In the Scopus we have like 400 index now from Quito. It's really nice. But in the PubMed we have only 20. And this new publication opportunity, which we'd like to present today for you, offer also PubMed indexing. That's why it's really important. It will be indexed in Scopus and PubMed as well. So the university has a strategy based on 2 pillars. One is increase the Scopus and the PubMed index, and the other is increase the impact factor. Here I would like to show you a comparison about these 3 different ways to publish. The first one is a traditional publishing system, in which you send the article. After it's passed a peer review, when they invite external experts to judge your article, after you receive their response, it can be accepted modifications or regret. And after you modify something, and hopefully it will be published in the journal. Honestly, this is the most slow way to publish nowadays. Because of the medical field require rapid publications, thanks to the DNA sequencing and other really important things which have to be published rapidly, they created so-called preprint servers. The preprint servers don't offer a review. So that's just a short editorial review. You submit your paper, and the next day, or in 2 days, you receive a yes or no response. They can publish or they cannot publish. It's really good for the doctors, for the medicines, the people who work with medicine, because they can prove that this discovery belongs to them. And the world-leading journals, for example, the Nature and the Science as well, accept the articles coming from the preprint servers. So what the researchers do, first they publish in the in the preprint, and after the same preprint they can forward it to the journal, because the articles published in the preprint servers didn't pass the peer review. They don't count as a scientific publication yet. That's why the journals can accept it. Okay. The problem with this also the time, because first you have to, and the energy, because first you go send it, submit it to a preprint, and after you have to transform it format to the journal according to their criteria. And a few years ago appeared a solution, and this is the main topic today, called F1000 Research. They try to compete with the world-leading magazines, and they act like a preprint and a scientific journal at the same time. So how it works? You submit your manuscript to the F1000 Research, you receive a feedback in 3 or 4 working days, and if they find everything well, they publish your article in 5 days. It received a DOI, but it counted like a preprint. I mean, formally, it's an article, but it doesn't pass the peer review yet. After this step, the journal and also you can suggest potential referees outside the journal, and they cannot be from your institution. I will present you the criteria. And when you receive 2 positive reports from these referees, receive the article immediately, the Scopus and the PubMed indexing. What does it mean? You don't need to submit to 2 different places. You just submit to one journal. They publish your results quickly. And in this case, your competition can see the discovery belongs to you. And when you receive the 2 approved status, it will be indexed in the 2 greatest databases in the world. This company doesn't have any competition yet in the world. I don't know how they did it, but they don't have any competition. So let me talk a little bit about this. The platform that allows you to make this rapid process, also other templates from other journals are welcomed in this platform. The most important thing which you have to see if the journal in which you would like to publish are really indexed in the Scopus list, if it's really indexed in the Scopus. When you make sure you put the journal name on the Scopus platform, which is freely available for everybody, and you can see the metrics and if it's really part of the journal list. Here is the platform of the F1000 Research. It's important for us because it's not just for medicine, it's also for other life science topics. For example, agriculture, for example, environmental sciences, environmental management, including the waste management, including all of the topic covered by the environmental sciences. Here is the platform in which my colleague Stalin will talk a little bit more, in more details. I would like to show you a general view about this. It's called Overleaf, the platform. In this platform, you can prepare your article. You don't need to download different Word files. You don't need to waste your time to submit it to the journal. Everything is in cloud. The only difficulty is you have to use LaTeX language. The LaTeX language allows you to put your article in codes, but as you can see in the other part of the screen, appear immediately as a PDF file. Everything is automatically in cloud. But you don't need to feel fear about this because the Overleaf using different templates. For example, the best journals already have their LaTeX templates, in which can be imported from the internet directly in the Overleaf. So you just have to modify the title, the main body. The difficulty is the mathematics and the tables, because you have to use sometimes specific characters. So when you prepare your first article, using this platform requires time, but the second one it's just minutes. It's just minutes. With this platform, we can prepare the articles much more quickly than in the traditional way when we are using words and other formats. So the other benefit of the overleaf is you can submit your article directly to the journal. So you don't need to prepare in a different place, you don't need to submit and wait for the response. Everything can be managed under one platform. And this is the main strength of this platform. Here you can see the different topics which are covered by the F1000 research. How it works exactly? You submit your manuscript, you receive a feedback. If the journal requires any modification, you can communicate with the editors using overleaf. So, if they have any comment, you can see in the main body of the latex text, and after you can reply why you don't want to modify, or you just modify, and everything has a time stamp, so editors can see what did you modify, and after you can submit it back. Once the editors accept your article, it will be published. Meanwhile, you can suggest 5 external referees who will judge your article. It's not a unique thing. Also, the nature, the science ask this favor from you because you know your field the best. So sometimes you know who can judge it in the best way. But it cannot be your friend, for example. These potential referees must come outside your university. They make a really hard research about the potential referees. So the potential referee has to own a PhD in the topic in which you would like to publish, must to have minimum 3 publications in this topic in the last 5 years, and cannot be from your institution. And the last criteria is you cannot have common publications because it cannot be your colleague. It's really tricky, to be honest. We using this platform in the last semester, and I can tell you that sometimes your friend or your friend of friends don't make you a good report because the curiosity, with this platform you can publish like crazy, every week if you wish. And sometimes your colleagues who know only the traditional system, they publish really slowly. So sometimes it causes something which we call like competition, or they feel like you do your things rapidly or you are more successful. Sometimes the external referees make a better report. It's up to the situation. You cannot count with it. So you can suggest 5 potential referees, but at the same time the journal also provides you a list of their own referees who already make reports in the journal, and they offer you the opportunity to choose to your referees or the referees suggested by the journal. It doesn't matter how many negative reports you receive. The main point is when you receive 2 approved status, the article will be indexed in the PubMed and in the Scopus. Here is the platform which called My Referees, and you can submit the people who think that they are the most suitable for this job, and after they make a review about, the editors make a review about this. So in this journal, the F1000 research, you have to work more. For the first thing, it looks like this, because first you have to prepare the article in latex, using a platform which you don't know before, the overleaf, and after you have to manage the referee by yourself. I mean, you have to suggest the referees by your own. It's not an editorial task here. But this is the price for the rapid publication, because in a lucky case, your article can be indexed in Scopus in 30 days. And this is the most fast system which exists. There's a little trick. Everything depends on the details, right? So how you can make friends, how you can motivate the referees to make you a positive report. For example, the ResearchGate is an excellent platform for making friends with your own interests, with your own researchers. So, for example, before I invite a referee to judge my article, I always make some positive comment on their own research. You know what I'm trying to say? They just polish their ego. And the other thing which is really important, make a citation in your article. If you make a citation, so you have to think a little bit before the submission. That is all the thing which you have to think about. Before you submit your article, put minimum one citation from the person who would like to invite to judge your article. Why? Because it increases their age index. If they receive more citation, they will be more popular in the scientific community. And in this case, the researchers are overloaded with a lot of different things. But if they say, oh, it's an article waiting for my judgment, but it has a citation from my own work, for sure I will do it quickly, because in this case, my age index will increase in a short period of time. And the journal policy allows this. You cannot ask a person who you collaborated with, but it's acceptable to cite, to make a citation from the person who would like to ask to judge your article. So using this way is just require preparation. If you prepare everything well, the publication will be really quickly. You just have to design a little bit about your strategy. You have to know exactly who will be your referee, who you would like to invite. If you would like to invite 5 different people who you don't know yet, make this 5 citation in your article, and after invite them. And the ResearchGate is an excellent opportunity to making friends and get in touch with the referee before. Ask them for judge your article. The other benefit of this platform is nothing is a problem. If you don't receive the 2 approved status for your article, you don't need to worry about. You don't need to worry. Why? Because in this case you have a chance to submit a second or a third version of the article. And to be honest, it's good for you. So, why? Because all of the versions will be indexed in the Scopus with different DOI, with a different link and a different Scopus link. So it's counted like 3 different publications from the same topic. None of the journals offer this opportunity, just the F1000 Research. So in this case you can increase the number of your publications in the Scopus like crazy. The book chapter publishers, because it became a new trend in the scientific community, you can publish a book, but also there's got different services in which you can publish a book chapter. But it's like an article, because you can submit different versions of the same book chapter. But as you can see, receive an indexing for a book chapter is relatively hard and more expensive. For example, average price for a book chapter like $1,500, which is indexed in the Web of Science. It's a general price. In this journal, in the F1000 Research, the short article costs like, I don't know, $100 and something. The middle size between 1,000 word and 2,100 costs like $500, and over 2,500 words costs like $1,000. But if all of your authors are Ecuadorians, the publication fee exactly 50% discount. So it's like 75 $, including the taxes, and you receive a Scopus indexing. So I highly recommend this way of publication for you guys because it's really economic and it's really rapid. So only the book chapter publishers offer opportunity to submit second or third versions of your book chapter, but these versions are counted like the same in the databases. But in this journal, if you submit second or third version of your article, all of the version will be indexed separately in the Scopus. Okay, let me to summarize a little bit about this model, and after I would like to ask to Stein to continue with a little bit about the overleaf, because I don't want you to feel scared about this. Okay, so in the F1000 research, you have opportunity to submit your article using overleaf. The first editorial decision arrived in 3 working days. If everything is fine, your article is published in 5 days. After, it's up to you. If you can motivate well your referees, we can make the report really quickly, and after requires 2 weeks to index in Scopus. So if you are lucky, your article can be indexed in Scopus in 3 weeks. If you don't receive the 2 approved status immediately, you also will have to be happy, because in this case you have a chance to submit a second or a third version of your article. And by the end, when you receive the 2 approved status, all of the 2 or the 3 versions of the article will be indexed separately. The only thing which you have to know a little bit more about the overleaf platform. So please, Stein, come and prepare your things to present. After I will give you the space. Please. Prepare your PPT. Okay, guys, if you have any question in any time, I will try to answer now. Okay. You know where you can find me. I'm working in the co-working as well, so if you would like to publish, or if you're preparing your thesis and you would like to publish a part of your thesis, or would like to make a summary of your thesis, it would be a really good opportunity for you. Okay, don't hesitate to ask anything. Please stand.
¿Qué tal, muchachos? Buenas tardes a todos. Bien, a continuación les voy a hablar un poquito sobre la plataforma Overleaf. Como escucharon, Baines habla sobre cómo utilizar la plataforma de Overleaf para subir sus archivos a FML Research. Sí, es una revista que les permite indexar rápidamente sus artículos. Así que a continuación les voy a indicar, ¿no? Prácticamente lo que nosotros tratamos en el curso de Overleaf es enseñarles un poco cómo se maneja el código de lenguaje de LaTeX. ¿A qué me refiero con esto? Bueno, antes de pasar a esto, debo comentarles que LaTeX es una plataforma que trabaja en la nube. ¿Sí? Entonces, por ejemplo, si ustedes están trabajando sobre su artículo y tienen que salir de viaje, tienen que salir a algún lugar, obviamente lo guardan tranquilamente, pueden ir a cualquier lugar y seguir trabajando a través de la nube, ¿sí? Entonces, tiene una ventaja bastante amplia esto, porque el hecho de desarrollar artículos, antes se utilizaba programas netamente de LaTeX que tenías que instalarlo en tu computadora, ahora no es necesario, todo es en la nube, entonces es mucho más práctico, ¿no? Bien, el entorno, como ustedes pueden ver aquí, esta es la página inicial de Overleaf, es una página bastante amigable. Por ejemplo, esta presentación es la que utilizo para dar las clases a las personas que ingresan a trabajar con Overleaf. Les indico cómo crear la cuenta, ¿sí? Cómo anexar su cuenta para que ustedes puedan acceder tranquilamente. Les indico cómo generar el proyecto. Afortunadamente, Overleaf tiene plantillas. Por ejemplo, en la que ustedes decían, se descargan la plantilla para desarrollar su artículo en FML Research. ¿sí? Entonces, nada más hay que buscar, es una búsqueda súper rápida y ya pueden descargar la plantilla y ponerse a trabajar sobre ella, ¿no? Bueno, también lo que tratamos en el curso es cómo colocar imágenes y las expresiones matemáticas en látex, ¿no? No es nada complicado, es un poquito nada más de entender ciertas formas de cómo colocar la imagen. Entenderán que látex es parecido un poquito a programación, ¿sí? Entonces, la verdad es que no hay que tenerle miedo. Además, al final les entregamos un pequeño manual para que se vayan guiando en ciertas cosas que probablemente no las hayamos tocado aquí. Entonces, por ejemplo, aquí vemos cómo se colocan las fórmulas sobre overleaf, ¿no? Entonces, igual, les enseñamos cómo colocar las expresiones, las letras griegas que se utilizan en fórmulas. También les enseñamos cómo colocar tablas, les enseñamos algunas herramientas que utilizamos para reducir el tiempo en que nosotros, para reducir el tiempo de generar las tablas, porque esto sí es un poquito complicado, entonces les proporcionamos las herramientas para que puedan desarrollar. De igual forma, Overleaf nos permite colocar imágenes propias de un artículo, entonces eso les indicamos, ¿sí? Y bueno, al final les indicamos también cómo colocar la biografía dentro de su artículo. Y bueno, esa es parte de todo lo que hacemos en el curso, ¿no? Como les digo, al final todos reciben un pequeño manual de las cosas que probablemente no se notó aquí, pero que ustedes probablemente los van a utilizar en sus distintos artículos. Cada artículo es diferente, tiene sus propias imágenes, sus propias fórmulas. Entonces se adapta tranquilamente el manual que les comento a sus necesidades. Eso les puedo comentar sobre Overleaf. Es una herramienta bastante versátil, como les he comentado, trabaja sobre la nube, bastante amigable su interfaz y es mucho más rápido trabajar sobre ella para indexarla a la revista de FMU Research, ¿sí?
Guys, if you would like to learn about the latex, it's a really nice thing. We plan to continue these courses. But if you don't have time or you don't want to do this, but you have really nice results, don't be afraid. Because we provide a service with the Vicerr de Investigación in Cuenca, provides you an opportunity to publish with us. Even the publication fee can be covered. Not by you, by us. So the only thing which you have to know is you have to provide the information of your supervisor. We are working on your thesis, for example, because most of the people belongs to a research group. Okay, and the research group enjoy benefit after the index publications. So we can make a deal with your supervisor. If you have a good results, if you think that it can be published as a part of your thesis or the summary of your thesis, don't hesitate to contact us. We have programmers like Stalin here in Quito who can help you to put your Word document into a latex-based platform called Overleaf, and we have people who try to help you about the referee management system. So if you would like to learn about this, you can contact us and we can teach you how to do it in the future. But your first article is really welcomed and we can collaborate if you wish. Thank you so much for your attention. If you have any question, we are here. Thank you.